Hello guys, thank you for being here in this speech. Today we're going to talk about a really interesting topic, and I really appreciate that you are here to participate in this talk. I would like to start my presentation with a question, and I would like you to answer my question. Have you ever tried to create something using Lego bricks? If your answer is yes, please raise your hand. Okay, it is great that most of you have tried to create or to build things with Lego bricks. When I was about 6 years old, I received as a Christmas present a box with Lego bricks. I was really excited about this present because this was something that I was expecting for a long time. So I opened the box and then I found inside a sheet with instructions. But something really sad happened. What happened is that I tried to follow the instructions, but I couldn't make any of the figures that I was supposed to create. So I was really sad, really discouraged. So what did I do? I started to create small things from the knowledge that I already had at that time. The first thing that I created was a house. Then I made a car. After that, I created a building. And then I created a robot. I was really happy because I understood that I had the capacity to create things from my mind. And finally, I got the capacity to create the things that I was supposed to build following the instructions of the box that was inside the box. So we all, as in my personal situation, has the capacity to use our minds to create things using Lego bricks or any other kind of stuff. As I said, sometimes we think that we are not really capable in our mind, that we're not really smart people, or that we are not good coming up with ideas to solve problems or to create things. I have taken some art and design classes. In addition, I have some experience in web design and development and also in graphic design. And I have been learning from a book called How to Get Ideas, written by Jack Foster. That is the reason why today I would like to talk to you about the fact that creativity comes from all elements. I would like to talk to you about three main aspects. The first thing is going to be the origin of ideas. The next one will be how to get ideas, and the third one is creativity. There are some points of view about the idea of being creative. Some people say that it is something that came with us since our birth. Other people states that it's just for the chosen ones, and some other people say that it's just about practice. So we're going to get some information to improve and to increase our abilities to get ideas and to be more creative people. Let's start with the first point, the origin of ideas. I would like to share with you a quote given by Steve Johnson. Can you please help me to read that quote?
We take ideas from other people, from people we've learned from people we run into the coffee shop, and we stitch them together into new forms, and we create something new.
Great, thank you very much. Something really interesting about this quote is that we can learn that our ideas comes from other people and also from the knowledge that we already have. There is nothing that we receive without referring to another things that already exist. And we can talk about some examples to illustrate this point. For example, in ancient times, somebody put together wood and fire and created a way to cook. We have another example that maybe it's well known for most part of you. Salvador Dali put together dreams and art, and he came up with something that we know as surrealism. Louis Carter put together a clock and a wristband, and he invented the watch. And Charles Darwin put together all the ideas about the origin of life he got during his whole life. And when he put all these ideas together, he came up with something that we know as the natural selection theory. So these are examples that are familiar for us. In the same way, I would like you to think in other examples in your own lives, when you put ideas together and came up with another additional idea. Now I want to go to another point that helps us to develop our skills to get ideas. We have to get all the elements in our lives. For example, something that we can do is to get out of our route. It means that we have to find or to look for different ways to do the same thing. For example, we can follow different ways to get to our jobs, or we can find different ways to solve a math problem, or we can get a different way to go to sleep. If we do this, we're going to realize that we can learn from the environment we are surrounded by. And when we work in this process, we're going to understand the importance of being aware of the things that are in our environment. It's important that we have to see and not just to look. When we see, we have to pay attention about the things that are surrounded by. Now I would like to jump to the next step, that is how to get ideas. Jack Foster, in his book How to Get Ideas, shares with us 10 ideas to help us to condition our minds to get more ideas, or to train our mind. And these ideas are these. The first one is have fun, become more like a child, become idea prone, visualize success, rejoice in failure, get more inputs, screw up your courage, team up with energy, rethink your thinking, and learn how to combine. If we apply these suggestions from Jack Foster, I know that we are going to be more creative people. But what is now creativity? I would like to talk a little bit about this fact. In the Creative at Work website, we read that creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. It is really important because if we don't put our ideas to work, they are not going to have value. So creativity is to put our ideas into action. Okay? If we have ideas, but we don't work on them, those ideas are not going to have value. Or if we have ideas, but we don't work on them, those ideas are going to be forgotten. So if we want to keep the ideas that we have in our minds, it's important that we have to work on them. And there's a difference between the not so creative people and the creative people. And Dustin Walks, in an article called Where Do Ideas Come From?, shares with us that the difference between these two groups isn't too much the ability to come up with ideas, but the ability to trust them, or to trust ourselves to realize them. So it is totally up to us to jump from the group of the not so creative people to the creative people group. Okay? So, as I was sharing with you at the beginning of this speech, try to imagine a little boy of 6 years old really discouraged as a result of failing in creating things with Lego bricks. If this boy just gave up on his duty to create things, never would happen. I am really happy that since our childhood we have the courage to put to work our minds and to put our ideas together and to share these things with other people and to help others to also create new ideas. I would like to just highlight some interesting and important things that I have been sharing with you. And these ideas are that, first of all, we have to keep in mind that ideas come from all the elements or knowledge that we have. Also that there are also ways to get ideas. And that creativity is the process of putting ideas into work. I just want to leave this talk giving you a challenge. I want you to go right now to your homes, and when you get there, take a piece of paper and write in this piece of paper 2 ideas that you already know. It doesn't matter if at that time these ideas are related one another, but just write them down. After that, try to put those ideas, those original ideas together to come up with one new idea. I am sure that if you did do this, you are going to realize and to understand that you are capable to create, to be a creative people. If you do this, I am also sure that you are going to understand that you can create things in a conscious way. I really know that you all can do this because this is something that happened with me when I was 6 years old. I really appreciate your presence here and your participation during this speech. Thanks for coming.